Hello Pokemon fans, trainers, welcome to the Pokemon Privateers. This is your Captain Andrew speaking. And today I have another deck profile that I will be facing First Mate with. But this will be for my deck profile. I'm going to be running a Blaziken fire deck. So I'm going to use 3 Torchics, all at the same 70 HP, Peck, and Life Coal. Use 3 of those. And use 3 of the same Combustions of 80 HP, Double Kick, and Flamethrower. And then obviously I use 3 Blazikens, but I used 2 GXs. Only 2. So I don't want to overpower the deck with Blaziken GX, because I also need this one. And this is the one from Dragon Majesty. And it's got the nice ability Fire Starter. See if the camera will focus in on that. If not, I can just read it. Once during your turn before you attack, you may attach a fire energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So essentially, every turn, as long as you have a fire energy in your discard pile and you have a fire Pokemon on your bench, or any Pokemon honestly, you can just attach it to him. So he's nice for replacing your energy if it's been discarded by being attached to a Pokemon or something like that, or even with your opponent using things like Enhanced Hammer or Crushing Hammer. Blaziken can bring it back. He also has a nice attack called Fire Stream. Does 90 damage. Discard an energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So he does 90 to the active and then 20 to everything on the bench. And that's really nice. He's a nice spreader Pokemon, and he replenishes your fire energy. For Blaziken GX, it's a completely different story. He does Slash for 60 damage, and that's 2 colorless, and then Explosive Kick for 210 damage with 2 fires and 1 colorless, but you have to discard 2 fire energies from this Pokemon after you do that. Well, you can only place 1 energy at a time, but if you have this Blaziken on the bench, you can replenish an energy that you just discarded from using Explosive Kick, and on your turn, place an energy if you have one. He's back to using Explosive Kick. So it's a nice little combo there. And then Blaze Out GX for 1 fire. Discard 2 energies from your opponent's Pokemon. Now, that most likely will not be used in case of like an emergency reason, but other than that, I don't really see it being used. Alright, I also run a Slugma in my cargo for smooth over ability. Once during your turn before you attack, you may search your deck for a card, shuffle it in your deck, and put that card on the top of it. So pretty much search your deck for any card you want, put it on top of your deck that you're going to get next turn when you draw, and yeah, you can already start basing your strategy on the next turn and everything else, because you already know what you're about to go get. I also run 2 Ho-Ho GXs, mainly for the Sacred Fire. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Do not apply weakness or resistance for bench. So I can attack the bench with Sacred Fire for 50. Well, if this guy right here has already been spreading around damage, Sacred Fire might be able to knock something out. So And if I really need to just go all out, I can do Phoenix Burn, which I can't do Phoenix Burn next turn, but not a big deal. I can do Sacred Fire. Not a whole lot's going to be able to withstand a Phoenix Burn and a Sacred Fire. And his Phoenix Burn does 180 for 3 fires and 1 colorless. The Sacred Fire does 1 fire and double colorless for 50. And his Eternal Flame GX, 1 fire, double colorless, put 3 in any combination of Fire Pokemon GX or Fire Pokemon EX from your discard pile onto your bench. So he's kind of like a rescue stretcher in a way. It just brings him right back. And we have, for the final fire type Pokemon in the deck, Reshiram GX. Now, he's 180 and he's a basic. That's why he's in here, because he's a basic. And his flame charge is search my deck for up to 2 fire energies and attach them to this Pokemon, then shuffle my deck. Now that is a turn kind of wasted, but if he can withstand an attack, and now he has 2 fire energies attached to him, he only needs 1 more for Scorching Column. Or Column. No, Column. And that does 110. And your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. Yikes. And then Vermilion GX does 180, and you may attach up to 5 energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. Now, if you have done a lady, or honestly anything that brings fire energy to your hand, or just energy in general, like even Blaziken's Blaziken's Firestarter attaches it. Anyways, if you have anything that can bring energy to your hand and you use that Vermilion GX, boom, you just powered up in another Pokemon completely free without having to use something like a Kiawe or something like that. And it did 180 damage, which is huge. Now, this is a spread deck, and what spread deck is not complete without a Tapu Koko that can do Flying Flip. Flying Flip. This attack does 20 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon. Do not apply weakness or resistance for the bench Pokemon, and 110 HP. So he's pretty good for that. He spreads around the damage, and we always want to make sure we can possibly get more cards, even with that whole smooth over ability, and then use Instruct. We can draw it immediately and get what we need on that turn if we have less than 3 cards in our hand. But yeah, Mr. Oranguru and Instruct is always essential in almost any deck I use. Okay, now for the item cards. I do use 1 Wishful Baton. The reason why I don't use 2 is because I ran out of room in the deck and I honestly couldn't figure out another card to get rid of. Wishful Baton will be nice to, let's say, Reshiram GX to a Ho-Ho GX or something like that, if I know it's going to get knocked out. But I can attach at least 3 basic energies from that Pokemon to the new one that I'm going to bring out. So Wishful Baton is always nice in that aspect. To make sure I have Ho-Ho GX or Reshiram, I run 3 Ultra Balls. Discard 2 cards in your hand, go search any Pokemon in your deck and put it into your hand. Pretty self-explanatory. I run 3 Nest Balls because I do have a lot of basic GXs in this deck, and if I have Combuskin and Blaziken and I need a Torchic, well, here he is. Pretty self-explanatory on that one too. You don't discard for that one. Sometimes I need to power him up, if I'm facing a GX, so I run 2 choice bands to do that, to power it up by 30. And if I need my little chicken nugget to evolve into a big KFC bird, I use rare candy right there. Use 2 of those. I use 2 switches in case I have my fire starter out there, my Blaziken fire starter, and he's gonna get KO'd, but I don't want to get rid of that fire starter ability. Use one of these, switch it out, bring in a different Pokemon. Hopefully he's powered up from fire starter, and you can start doing some real damage with that. Alright, those are all the items that I use into this deck. Now for the supporters. Alright, what deck does not run at least 3 Cynthias, but I run 4, just to make sure I can get the cards that I want the best way possible, and I even make sure that I can get all those cards by running 3 Tate and Lisas. Now I can also use this as a switch, which is why I run so many of them. But yeah, so 4 Cynthias, 3 Tate and Lisas. Now for energy wise, I run 2 Kiawe's. Yes, this is my full art Kiawe. It's very nice, very pretty, very shiny. I hate using full arts in my deck because I don't like to actually use them because I'm worried about damaging them, but I think he'll be alright. But I do run 2 Kiawe's. I search my deck for up to 4 fire energy cards and attach them to one of my Pokemon. Then I shuffle my deck. My turn is over after I use that card though. So I can't attack that turn essentially, but if I got that on the first turn and I got something like Reshiram or Ho-Ho GX, anything like that, boom, I can immediately Kiawe on my first turn that I can't, if I'm first and I can't attack anyways, I'm fully powered next go around with that. Now with Kiawe, probably going to be discarding a lot of energy that you need some in your hand. Now this is Fisherman, put 4 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. Now that's also good for your Reshiram GX's ability by attaching 5 energies that are in your hand. Well, if you use this first, bringing all that from the discard pile, you have 4 of them in your hand, you can attach to anything however you like. I want to run 1 Lily for draw support in the very beginning if my hand is bad. I run 2 Acerolas to heal my Pokemon and bring it back to my hand and possibly energies back to my hand. I run 2 Guzmas to switch out my Pokemon and my opponents, and forgot that one over there. I run 1 Lady to go and get 4 energies in my hand, start spreading them out as needed, or even, like I said again, Reshiram's GX ability. Really easy to use with that card. So, those are all the supporters. Okay. I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fire energies. 12 fires to power up the entire deck. I think that's plenty. And with all the supports I have to go get the energy, I don't think I'll have a problem with it. And I run 3 double colorless for something like Instruct with a Rangaroo or Flying Flip. Another Pokemon if they need it. Well, anyways, that was the Blaziken Fire Deck profile. And that will be going up against First Mate on Sunday. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys ever want tips on a deck that you want to see, or any ideas of any deck battles you want to see me face the First Mate or the Quartermaster if he's available, let us know. We got a lot of cards here, obviously. and I love building decks very much. It's kind of like my zen in a way. But anyways, yeah, thank you for watching. That was the Captain's Fire deck for Blaziken GX with a whole bunch of supports from others. This has been the Captain of the Pokemon Profiteer saying, see ya.